The assets of Africa Global Holdings, previously known, of course, as Bosasa, are expected to go under the gavel today. The three-day auction will see buildings, cars, furniture and commercial and office equipment go under the hammer. The embattled company was put into liquidation after banks announced they would be closing all its accounts due to corruption allegations. This after former Bosasa COO, Angelo Agrizzi, told the State Capture Inquiry the company benefited from government tenders by paying bribes to officials. It's reported that the embattled company has applied for an urgent interdict to stop the auction. Our Govan Whittles is tracking that story and is in Krugersdorp at the moment at the former headquarters, or I suppose it may still be the headquarters. Govan, good to talk to you. Talk to us about the attendance.
Well, it's certainly overwhelming, Tony. You could see behind me. I'll ask my camera person, Tamane, to show you exactly what's happening here at the Krugersdorp headquarters of Bosasa. They were expecting about 500 people yesterday. It looks like they'll get more than they're expecting. And today, it's the fleet of vehicles that were owned by African Global Operations, as well as some of the high-end furniture, office furniture mostly, that'll go under the hammer. And a lot of the interest here is mostly on the motor vehicles. And we're expecting some competitive bidding. The weather would have dampened people's moods, but it doesn't seem to be that way. We're about 10 minutes delayed at the moment. And let's talk about that now with the auctioneer himself, Mr. Clive Lazarus. Thank you very much for joining us again, Mr. Lazarus. Okay, so you're about 10 minutes delayed, but certainly seems like you got more people than you were bargaining for.
Yeah, it's overwhelming today. There's much more people than we expected, and considering the weather, the enthusiasm on the vehicles and on the equipment going for day number one has been fantastic, and we're sure we're going to have a good day.
What does that do, the attendance do, to the price of the stuff that people will be bidding on? Does it mean that people who came here looking for bargains will possibly have to fight each other for it?
I think there will be competitive bidding in today's rounds, and I hope that the guys have got ceiling on their prices and don't get out of control. But as I said, yeah, the vehicles and equipment is in good condition, and let's see how the day goes.
All right, and do you have any estimates of how much you think you'll sell the fleet for today?
In the motor vehicles, etc., for day one, I'm presuming approximately 15 million rand.
All right, that's 15 million rand just for the motor vehicles, Tony. Of course, then there's the furniture, but the big items are, of course, the smart campus itself, the copper smelter, as well as the Lindela Repatriation Center. Those going under the hammer tomorrow, and on Friday, some of the high-tech security equipment will also be auctioned off. There's a lot of anticipation in the room. There's a lot more people that are streaming in, security getting things ready as well, but we should be starting shortly, and that's when we'll see Mr. Lazarus over here officiating the auction.
All right,
now back to you, Tony.
All right, thank you. Govan, a quick one though. What do we know about the fact that the company applied for an urgent interdict to stop this auction?
At this stage, we know that it hasn't been granted. As far as we know, the auction is still within their legal rights to sell off the property, and the liquidators remain Cluta Murray. But I do still have Mr. Lazarus here. Let's ask him about that. We understand that the company may have applied for an interdict to stop the auction. What do you know about that and its status, sir?
We had rumours of the interdict being brought. Our instructions are taken from the liquidators, and our instructions from the liquidator, the auction proceeds. And unless we get a court order stopping the auction proceeds. And at this moment in time, the auction is proceeding.
What happens if that court order arrives in the middle of the auction and some people have already bought stuff?
What's concluded is concluded and sold, and we can guarantee that the people that bid today will get free title and free encumbrance. There will be no lien or hypothec on any items. They will get delivery of their goods today, no matter what.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Lazarus. Once again, just for context, Tony, you need about 20,000 rand as a deposit to become a registered bidder here at the auction. And the people that you see in the room, most of them have already put down that deposit, and they'll be spending the money throughout the day. And we'll definitely keep you updated if that interdict is granted and there's some changes here at the Bosasa headquarters in Krugersdorp.
All right, Govan, obviously you and I could never go and bid there with that amount of money. Govan Whittles, our reporter, and as you said, you'll keep us up to date and see what's happening there in Krugersdorp at the headquarters of Bosasa, or the former Bosasa, and see if that auction does actually go ahead.